Koi farming is a complex, time-consuming and sophisticated science. From the spawn, just a small percentage of koi carp will have the traits desired for sale. Because of that, most of the Japanese breeders prefer to use artificial technique like this to raise the hatching percentage. And their luck for a year starts from the eggs in these artificial nests. This is what fry look like at just a few days old. These newly hatched fry are then counted, and for some variety, like Showa Sanshoku, they do an early selection process. Thereafter, they then count by judging the apparent mass of fry in each of the subsequent container, which are then totaled up, before being put into the mud pond. A female koi's body shape will become rounded and bloated looking when it is filled with eggs, and for every pound of body weight she has, up to 50,000 eggs can be laid from just one koi fish. There are a lot of koi fry, but this number will dwindle in a few weeks until they are selected, and will continue to dwindle. When those koi get up about 1 inch, we'll see some orange or benny, and some patterns we didn't see earlier. When the color has come, the first selection will be held. Japanese called it senbetsu, is the name used in Japan for the selection process of koi. But why it is important to cull or select your koi fry? The answer is really simple. The breeder doesn't have enough space to let all koi develop under the best circumstances, and for that reason, the breeders need to select his koi. Only the ones that have potential in his eyes will be selected. Less koi in the mud pond means better development, better growth, and less risk for diseases. And why would the breeder spend time and money to grow and feed koi that he never will be able to sell to customers in the future? So it makes sense, a breeder is only selecting his best koi. For these really small koi, body posture is not the most important factor to selecting the koi on. While a good larger koi body counts for at least 50% during the selection process. For now, since the baby koi are only 1 to 1.5 inches in size, the body is just a rough indicator. Even the breeder doesn't exactly know how this will develop in the next upcoming weeks or months. Selecting baby koi is not something that is extremely difficult, but need years of experience. Everyone is able to learn the aspects where you have to select the koi on. The hard part is that each variety of koi has its own selection process criteria. Kohaku, for example, a white koi with a red pattern are selected differently than Showa, which are black koi with a white and red pattern on it. So, after this senbetsu process, the number of baby koi will decrease drastically. Did you know, not all koi farmers in Japan sell koi carp in large sizes? Many koi farmers who run a specific business, only to reach baby koi size, and the maximum age is under 1 year for sale. Some of them sell directly to importers, and others supply them to large and well-known farms. Apart from market demand, in reality, a koi spawning circle is not always successful. Sometimes the results really fail, and a koi farm requires a patch of koi babies from other breeders. Because if not, their business that year will not running, and their family eat nothing. Buying and selling between Japanese koi farmers is a normal thing, as is the existence of bloodlines, for example oyagoi or koi parents. It is normal and appropriate for a breeder to buy koi from another bloodline from another farm. Apart from reducing the recessive genetics of one bloodline koi, this is also related to the specifications of the koi they want to create. While most people first notice a koi's patterns, breeders have a different perspective. They can't create patterns from scratch, but they can control and improve body shape through selective breeding. So, while as hobbyists, you might be drawn to a koi's pattern, breeders focus more on the body. If koi value was determined solely by patterns, it would be a risky business for breeders, because it would all depend on luck. But by prioritizing body shape, breeders can ensure that their hard work and skills are reflected in the quality of their fish. Because beyond the patterns, there is impression of a koi begin. And mostly it's happened by koi bloodline crossbreed. Japan, October rings in the harvest for koi breeders to pull in their nets and see the koi beauty that comes from all their hard work. An exciting moment that the growers have looked forward to all year round. The big question is that will be answered: how big did the jumbo koi get during the growing season? The best and largest fish of the breeder swim in this mud pond. Most fish have now found an owner who is anxiously waiting for the results of this season. In May last year, the koi breeders of Joppa had bred a ton of koi fry. How big they had the baby koi that they bred a full 12 months before. Now these koi are between 30 to 40 cm, most of them called, as popular calling name, the jumbo tosai. The koi that the breeder has selected to keep, which will be less than hundreds pieces from hundreds thousand, go out to the main mud ponds for a summer of growth. The breeders will check on them daily and make sure they are getting enough food. They have put these koi in around 5 or 6 mud ponds, or even more. Because big space is key for their growth, so the stocking levels are very important. So they have May, June, July, August and September of uninterrupted eating and growing. No nets, just very hot weather and plenty of room, and a big appetite. No wonder they grow so fast. This is until buyers like you, from every corner of the globe, arrive en masse to the mountains of Niigata and other areas of Japan. The start of October signals the start of the harvest season. While, the same time that all this happened, the breeders also have their new babies indoors, being fed and kept at 23 Celsius. They also have 3 years old koi, 4 years old koi, and bigger in their facilities. However, talking about koi harvest, we have to divide these koi into 2 sections. First, koi which have not been sold. Second, koi which are being grown on, for customers bought them before, called azukari in Japanese. So, not all breeders sell out their koi every year. Most breeders, based on their bussing scope, will always have a selection of different aged and sized koi to grow. Some hobbyists prefer to buy small koi and grow them on. They want to go down the route of buying that special small koi and hoping it will grow up to be a grand champion. Some people buy smaller koi because they cannot afford the bigger koi. Some rich buyers only buy 3 years old premium koi. The risk is a little less than a 2 years old, and some big expensive koi keepers like to buy jumbo koi only. There is a lot of scope in koi keeping. The second point, koi which are being grown on, for clients, or azukari. It's pretty much that. Rich men will buy koi, and decide to leave them at the breeders, if they are good enough for the breeder to keep, and if the growing costs are paid. On average, a koi up to 2 years old, is around 350 pounds to 400 pounds a month, but this is an average cost. Some breeders will charge more, to use certain growing ponds, to certain exclusive facility. This is a very popular thing that customers do, the azukari. And the following is an outline of the azukari schedule. People buys koi in October, then the koi is kept at breeder's facility, for October until May next year. The koi will fed sparingly and heatedly. In May, the farmers release the koi into the mud ponds of Niigata, to be grown until October. Then in October, the autumn harvest time has come, to see the results of the azukari. The harvest time is, when we see these koi, at their harvested age. The best they will look, at their stage of life. We see them from the youth, we see the expectations, we see the successes, we see the failures. We see how hard it is to produce these living works of art, for a living. The harvest is just a start, and the true game is at the koi show. In this koi show game, money talks. There is no possibility for cheap koi that are well cared for to win the main prize. It's still possible to simply champion audience entertainment, but after all, this is a business. Koi shows are part of an industry with deeply rooted stakeholders. To be on this stage, we must follow the existing rules of the game. If you are confused, why is this auction highly anticipated at double the price? In fact, no matter how high the auction winning price is, buying a koi before it is a champion is much cheaper than buying a koi when it is a champion. Koi is an art, and a fine art are never cheap, remember that.